Coming up on our show, we'll take a look at online shopping, an easy way to save money this holiday season.
I'm afraid that something might happen and then I don't get my presents on time.
And while some people are concerned with overeating at Christmas, many Torontonians are going hungry and must rely on food banks.
But increased quite dramatically in January and February. People spend whatever small little resources they have in December to make.
And one family is raising money for a good cause by lighting up their neighborhood.
Children's Hospital, only because it would help the children, and Christmas is all about the kids.
Hello and welcome to our Humber News Holiday Special, coming to you from the Broadcast Center here at North Campus. I'm Simon Rice.
And I'm Pam Ball. Today on our show, we'll have all your entertainment highlights. We'll tell you how to stay safe on the roads and some tips on how not to get scammed this holiday season. But first, Simon has our top story.
Toronto's food banks usually get more visits in the winter months, but with record amounts of food being handed out, the increase in demand may not just be a seasonal trend. Food banks saw almost 1.2 million visits in the GTA in the last year, which is a 15% increase in 2009. 39% of adults in Toronto go hungry at least once a week, and 34% of children in Toronto use some food banks to some degree. Reporter Kyle Hall has the details.
Figuring out what gifts to buy might be the biggest dilemma for some Torontonians this holiday season, but for others, just getting a square meal can be a problem. Toronto food banks always see an increase in demand during the winter months, but with the effects of a recession still looming, food banks are experiencing the highest demand in recent memory. Executive Director of Toronto's Daily Bread Food Bank, Gail Nyberg, says the holiday season can present unique challenges.
Basically stay the same at the holiday season, but increase quite dramatically in January and February. People spend whatever small little resources they have in December to make sure, and to try to make sure that their families have a nice Christmas, and they are then quite short of cash in January and February.
Contrary to what people believe, food bank clients are average citizens. We tried to interview some of these people, but they were unwilling to speak in front of a camera. Nyberg says to identify someone who uses a food bank, you don't have to look very far.
Difficulty, and if they're sitting on a bus, they need to look a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. They need to ask their child to look around their classroom. There is likely someone in that group of people using food banks. It's people just like you and I.
The Daily Bread reaches almost 900,000 people a year with its food bank services, but also produces 3,000 to 4,000 meals per week, which are distributed to shelters around the GTA.
Toronto Food Bank saw close to 1.2 million visits alone last year. And whether it's a large organization like the Daily Bread or a smaller food bank run out of the basement of a community church, the mission doesn't change. And that's to get healthy food to people who can't get it on their own.
The Eden Community Food Bank runs out of the basement of a Mississauga church. It's been around since 1989, but November was its busiest month on record. We spoke to the food bank's chief coordinator, Donna Beamer, about the increase in demand.
Last month was 1,680 people just out of our food bank. We gave out over 35,000 pounds of food just in 1 month.
It's essential for food banks to provide a variety of healthy foods. Fresh produce and sources of protein are at a premium because no one wants to live off canned tomatoes alone. And while food donations are vital, food banks rely heavily on the compassion of volunteers.
I like the fact that I know I'm helping people, but I can actually interact with them, and it shows you that there are real people behind the statistics that you see on the news.
There's no easy solution to the Toronto hunger problem. Whether it's flaws in social assistance or a downward swing in the job market, the problem isn't going away. Thankfully, there are food banks like these, because while there may be some empty stockings over the holiday season, hopefully there'll be fewer empty stomachs. For Humber News, Kyle Hall.
To donate, you can go to dailybread.ca or canadahelps.org.
And now for a winter weather report, Phil Heidenreich takes a look at driving when the roads get icy, and he has some tips on how to keep you safe behind the wheel.
Buckle up, Toronto. Driving in the winter always seems to be one wild and wacky ride. With all the ice and snow, there are slick roads and low visibility, and that can make for some dangerous driving conditions. So here are a few tips to make sure you safely get to wherever you plan on going to guzzle that rich eggnog. In Canada, winter tires are a must and give you more grip on those roads. Quebec's government even legislated the use of winter tires 2 years ago. Studies show that once the weather drops below 7 degrees, those winter bad boys are already outperforming your all-season tires. Clean the snow off your vehicle so you're visible to others, and clean the ice off your windshield so your vision isn't impaired. In fact, this is also required by law. Another nifty little tip, use the air conditioning as a dehumidifier. It'll help keep your windows nice and clear. Keep a safe distance from other cars. In winter, it's a good idea to keep several car lengths behind the car ahead of you. If you really want to keep from skidding off the road or sliding through stop signs, the best tip for being safe this holiday season is just being attentive. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Phil. Going online may be an easier way to get your Christmas shopping finished. After the break, reporter Jessica LeBears will tell you how to surf your way to the best deals.